What are your thoughts on some sort of reparations plan being enacted today? Are you for it? And if so, what do you hope it would look like?
Yeah, thanks. That's definitely been a lot, I should say, an increase of this particular question. And in fact, I just came from a talk that I gave in Savannah where I was asked about it. And my emphasis has always been about reparations in the form of education. Because even right now, as education is up for debate, we then have to sort of look at what would it mean to have that, like, where no one can ever forget again. So then I'm back to that power of curriculum. Because a lot of people, for others, it is sort of give me a dollar amount. They want to think in dollars, but it's almost so complicated even when we think about memory. And that's a whole other currency that is overlooked in it. However, we have to think about the generational differences of this history and reckoning with it. So we're going to really have to innovate the different ways of engagement that, almost will require more of a global partnership on the meaning of this history and how we want the legacy of the remembrance to continue. So for me, I'm always going to go back to if people are teaching and educating and empowering on it, then we won't forget. But the moment that it becomes locked at just dollars, the other side we have to look at is some people will say, well, look, we gave you money. The conversation's over. So we do have to think about all sides of it. And we also have to think about, the attempts to move that needle. Why didn't it work before? How were people responding when these conversations came up in the 90s? What's so different now? And even decades earlier, or even when Dave Chappelle had his episode in thinking about what would it mean with reparations. So we have to think about, we have to almost go deeper in the spiral of understanding to get at what will that mean for someone in 2021, and what will that mean if we're thinking about it in 2050? Where are we in the world?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I know there are people that are studying and thinking for dozens of hours a week about these types of problems. So in my very unqualified opinion about reparations, I will say that I often don't hear people bring up the other side of the dollar amount, which is that if you, let's say, somehow you were able to pinpoint the genetics of people who are descendants of slavery, or do you just give it to all black people? Do you, what does it have certain income levels, like tax reparation brackets, things like that? But let's say you figured it out and you finally nailed down, okay, these people are going to be sent this dollar amount as a payment. Then you open up the door of white people and people who were not given those payments, regardless of what race you are. You open the people that did not receive financial aid from reparations to say, okay, you got it. Shut up now. Like, you're done. There's no more problems. Like, we took care of this already. And people talk about reparations, financial reparations, as if it's a solution. And education, to me, makes much more sense. And investing money into education makes much more sense, because then that's compounding over time. When you create an institution, it's going to be stronger, hopefully 50, 100 years from now than it is today. And then you can educate people about anything. You can teach financial education. You can teach people about slavery. You can use education as a weapon to combat the gaps for which you thought that a check would completely fill. And I'm not saying that money doesn't make a difference, because a lot of people would say, like, fuck yeah, like I'll take I'll take it right now. Yeah, give me that check. I'll figure it out. I'll educate myself. I'll go on YouTube. And which would actually be great, but I think it should be something more in lines of a an investment that has continuing returns for a lot of the differences that were caused and the gaps that were caused by slavery, whether it's educational or financial or emotional, whatever that is, institutions that are designed to get better and to compound over time to help fill that gap.